I'm a recording session from Friday, 5/12. So this is before Monday session today. So S&P 500 ETF, the SPY, still in long-term big picture uptrend. Recent trend action is going sideways, just underneath the 52-week all-time high. Kind of going sideways in the range, just kind of back in there, but uptrend still intact overall. Just kind of volume is definitely a decrease. So as long as it's up here, the uptrend is still good. I don't have the top two pre-market movers, but I will talk about the two trades that I made. So they were not very good. Twitter. So Twitter's obviously fucking Twitter in the tech sector, but the big picture here is sideways. So there's no big picture trend. I mean, I was looking at this recent trend action of this volume influx plus a sideways action. But the best trades are with a long-term trend, and so I'm trying too hard to make something up here. This is definitely something to skip in the future. But my thoughts were just getting above this consolidation. That this may be the start of a new uptrend, but we opening spike, right, and then ATR on Twitter is it's like $1. So 50 cents. So it's I would still call this a I don't know, just not a good trade, right? I bought this little window, the prior, this was the resistance high, so I was like, okay, get above this level. But there's no real window there, and it's just there wasn't any, as we kept going up, and then there was this big volume spike right here. That should have been the signal to get out. So if I traded this better, maybe I take a break even trade or a small winner. But the bigger idea here is this is not a good stock to trade. So there's better stuff out there, as I'll show you later. And then Apple, Apple's in a big picture uptrend. Was looking for trades at all-time highs really, and I said my only scenario that I would trade was an open up B down. Frozen up here. So and we didn't. We gapped up, go up. So I did see this kind of intraday level can hit its head on this 155 or call it 156, whatever you will. So I was kind of looking for resistance become support in here, but I ended up buying somewhere in here. So it's bad. Just I didn't have a plan for a gap up, go up, resistance become support, and Apple's closed outside of Keltner 4 days in a row, so maybe not the best trade. Maybe you wanted to revert back to the mean a little bit before we are looking to go along with this a little bit. So. But once again, if I have my stop in an appropriate place, which was right in here, I got ticked out on this little bar, but my stop was below this little swing. Break even trade should have been break even trade, but as we will see, there are better stocks to have been trading today. So the first one is the best one, I believe, is Asna. So Asna's a penny stock. But it is a real company. They own Maurice's and shit like that, women's clothing. So the big picture is obvious downtrend. Recent trend action is, so let me just go back to that. So recent trend action is an obvious level. I would rank this as a level 8 because it's touched it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and it's the all-time low. So we're just looking for continuation trades below here. So we get our opening drive on volume. Supporting volume, and there's your bull flag. After 9:45, so you could have been throwing a trade on after this VWAP test, little window to VWAP, maybe short right in here, or even if you got short right in here, you risk 5 cents, right, and 5 cents, gets you, if you got the low of the day, a 7-1. If you just hold to the end of the day, definite 6-1. So this is a way easier trade than the other stuff I was trying to do. The trade desk, this is one that I wouldn't have traded. But I threw it on there just because of the intraday pattern. So, this is obviously a big picture uptrend, right? It's at 52-week highs. It did gap up, so I don't like that. But it, I kind of pulled back to the midline, went sideways, some volume in the background if you pull this day back. Volume in the background. So just kind of let you know something's going on. And then we get above the 52-week high. Intraday, kind of had this nice sideways channel. So it's really a little bit more. So I'll drag this over here a little bit. All right, so just this nice like sideways for an hour, so you kind of know that you got that, and then sideways, you have like another, so holding, after the sideways, volume comes in and then holding above the level, so we have an intraday uptrend, higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher lows, so and risking just below here for like 50 cents, and then you risk 50 cents there, and you are a stud on your exit, you get 5 to 1. So, maybe one of these I'm giving up, but just the intraday pattern was good to see. SGMO, so scientific, or not scientific, Sangamo, so healthcare biotech, right? So we like that it's a biotech, it's a penny stock. Big picture is sideways, but the recent trend action is a gap up on 15 times its average volume. There's kind of an obvious level. I'd rank this as a 6, around like 750, which half dollars below $10 are kind of psychological levels. And so we're basically looking for a second day play above this this prior day's high. So we open lower. That's good for a buy. Higher high, higher low, higher high, and then just kind of holding above that prior 755, 750 level, just like holding above that level. Making higher lows kind of into the high of the day. So at any point, I think you could have thrown a trade here. Maybe it was a little long in the tooth after. The ATR on these wide range days were about 80 cents. So, if you skip this because it may be gone, 80 cents, the prior day was $1.20. So, so 80 cents is a bit, and you're also, looking for the mid-morning reversal because of the 80-20, but, we're getting over here to 11 o'clock, and we're making higher lows into the opening range high, so you could maybe paid that breakout or bought in here with the stop to VWAP, and if you kind of got out somewhere in here, 3 to 1. So nothing spectacular, but definitely a trade it could have been involved in. And then last one is TCCO. This is not my wheelhouse, but I just thought it was worth mentioning. So TCCO is a tech sector penny stock, right? And the former runner, right? It's just like the big picture is sideways. I would just say just dead. So dead stock, but it was hot in pre-market, I do believe. And it was a former runner, as I mentioned, and there was this kind of failure level that I had already marked on my chart, so it was pretty cool, like 425. So we come into the 1 minute chart. You see, holy shit, well, pre-market's gone, but it was an intraday uptrend or pre-market uptrend, but then we opening spike right into this level. So 425, call that 425 exactly. I'll just do this. And then, so immediately reject. So, all this volume comes in, but this bar closes way down. So this is definitely a more advanced trade. We don't like to be shorting, above VWAP usually, but I think this is one of those good examples. If you, see this rejection from the level, all this volume's coming in, like opening spike up, right into it, like maybe on this bar, you just like throw in a trade, or, you got a couple minutes to like make this, and then risk 30 cents just under the high of day. And if you do that and just kind of look for a scalp, once it starts basing right in here, maybe you get out for $1, so 3 to 1. So I thought those were some good trades, and it's like well, it has not. This is the bread and butter setup, and I just have to find this and be prepared for this, because I certainly wasn't. So easy trades are out there if I find them. So anyway, that's it. Later.